With me today is one of my colleagues, Miss Emily Betts, who is our Associate Director of Grants and Sponsored Programs. Emily will be sharing in this presentation with me and offering a different perspective as someone who works with grants and sponsored programs on a daily basis. So I'm glad to have Emily with us sharing her expertise. Now, I'm happy we're able to offer this webinar to you. Our webinars, and we offer several throughout the year, help us meet our commitment to you, our prospective and current students, to help you succeed in meeting your educational goals. We can have the best curriculum and the best faculty, which I believe we do, and you can have the best professional goals. But if you can't find the resources to attend a program, or you start but can't continue because of financial pressures, then none of us succeed. We also realize there may be some folks who may not be attending Barry but could also benefit from this information. We are happy to have you join us, and we hope you keep Barry in mind for yourself or for others in the future. At the end of the seminar, what we're trying to achieve, our goals, is to be able to help you locate grants and scholarships that will give you the money you need for your nursing degree, whether that's an undergraduate or graduate degree. We hope that you understand the process for applying for federal grants and scholarships and loans, as well as school-specific grants and scholarships and loans that may be available to you. And we want you to be able to create a personal plan for tackling the application process, because that can be overwhelming at first. And then finally, to know what to do once you get an award. Pursuing a degree, whether it's an entry-level degree such as a BSN or an advanced degree such as a master's or a doctoral degree for a practicing nurse, is a big decision, and it requires a huge commitment. You're here because you made the decision, and hopefully you're committed. Now you need to kind of scroll down to the bottom line and figure out how to muster the resources you need to complete the program. And really, in plain English, that means making sure you have the dollars and the cents to begin and finish the program. No doubt you have read the articles and you've heard the news stories about the rising costs of higher education. Some of you may have earned a degree many years ago, or you may have spoken to family members who have completed a degree years ago, and you can identify that the price tag of a degree has increased significantly over the years. Some articles are saying that the cost of higher education is 4.5 times more expensive than it was even just 30 years ago. And there are many reasons for this rise. Some say there was much more government aid given to colleges in the mid to late 1900s to help them with building buildings and creating programs and hiring talented faculty. Government has greatly reduced the amount of funding given to colleges, so that has impacted us. And that doesn't look like it's going to change in the near future. Some say it is due to increasing number of administrative employees in universities. Others say it's because of all the non-academic services that universities have to offer, from counseling to healthcare to internet access and even rock climbing walls. And for nurses who used to be trained at the local hospitals, the move from getting a diploma at the hospital to earning a degree at a university has made a significant difference in the cost of becoming a nurse. The truth is, the cause for the increased cost of higher education is probably due to many reasons and not just one. But regardless, you need to find a way to manage the costs. What I can attest to is that a person with a college degree has more value in the workforce and earns considerably more than a person who only possesses a high school diploma. The lifetime earnings of a bachelor's prepared registered nurse is much higher than those for an associate's degree prepared registered nurse. With a BSN, you have the opportunity to become an advanced practice nurse. You can move into administration, research, and even management. So there are many opportunities available to you. And for you, nursing was listed as the #1 occupation with the largest growth by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Department of Labor. The Bureau also predicts a 16% growth rate for registered nurses from 2014 to 2020. So given that we're all living longer and we have more chronic conditions, the need for nurses who specialize in primary and preventive care, who specialize in informatics, and also in nursing education is certainly increasing. And if you're already a registered nurse and you're returning for an advanced degree, employment opportunities are expected to jump 31% between 2014 and 2024, which is much faster than the average for all occupations. So you know that you are investing wisely and you're going to get a good return on your investment. The question is, where do you begin with this whole process? And there are 5 broad sources of funding for you as you pursue higher education. So I just kind of want to introduce you to those sources. Obviously, the first source is you and your family. And if you are lucky enough to have a wealthy relative or a rich uncle or aunt that may be interested in helping, you're going to be very lucky, and you can never be too proud in these situations. So feel free to ask for some assistance from family members. Beyond your family, the federal government and even the state government offers some assistance. And some of you may not live in the state of Florida, but you need to be aware of what's available in your own state. And besides your family and the federal and state governments, your college and your university may also have some funding available to you. For those of you coming to Barry, I'm going to introduce you to some of the many grants and loans and scholarships we have available. And then last but not least, there are private outside scholarships that you may be eligible for. And you know, piecing together $500 here and $1,000 there can really add up and help out quite a bit over time. If I had to start at the very beginning, I would say your first step is to apply to a program and gain acceptance. And as you're shopping around, make sure that the mission and the values of the school that you choose matches your own. We hope that you'll consider Barry. And while you're waiting for that acceptance, that's when you need to complete the one document that's going to open the doors to both government and university-based funds. And that is the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA form. You may have heard of it by now. It is free and it's done right online. It's going to take about 30 to 40 minutes to fill out, so budget your time accordingly. And there are many helpful videos on the FAFSA website to help you along the way. So you see the online address on this slide. You'll be able to click on that address. Well, let's see. You'll be able to copy that address down, I guess I should say. And you'll only need to fill out the form, the online form, once, even if you've applied to many different schools and programs. So the form applies to all schools. And if you're coming to Barry, you simply enter our school code in as one of the schools that you want to attend. And our number is 001146. Now, let's start with the government-based support that is available. And a grant is a great way to help you because it is essentially free money. You don't have to pay back a grant. And there are millions of dollars of grant money available. At Barry, for example, our faculty write for what is called the HRSA grant, the HRSA grant, and our students in both the undergraduate and graduate programs receive these grants each year. Speaking of HRSA, that's the federal agency that also offers the Nurse Corps Scholarship Program, and that helps offset the cost of your BSN and even your nurse practitioner program. It's a selective program that helps alleviate the critical shortage of nurses currently experienced by certain types of healthcare facilities that are located in what we call health professional shortage areas. And these HPSAs, or health professional shortage areas, are all around the country. We have some here in Florida, even right in Miami-Dade and Broward County. So again, you don't have to think that you're going to be located in some place far away, because again, we have them right here in our own backyard. After graduation, if you were to be accepted for one of these programs, the Nurse Corps Scholarship Program, you would then work at that facility for at least 2 years, earning the same salary as any new hire. You can even receive a stipend in addition to your tuition and funds for books and supplies. And you'll hear a little bit more about the HRSA grants a bit later in this webinar. Obviously, grants and scholarships are the best options since you don't have to pay them back. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't consider a loan. And you have to look at a loan as an investment with your education. And there are 2 types of loans available to you. There are federal student loans and there are private credit-based loans. When we're talking about the federal loans, the government regulates the interest rate, and you don't need to begin paying that loan back until up to 6 months after graduation, or if you were to drop out from your program of study. So they give you some lag time after you've stopped your studies to begin paying that loan back. And the most common federal student loan is called the Stafford loan. A private loan usually carries a higher interest rate, but it usually also defers payback until after graduation. The difference is interest rates begin to accrue immediately after the loan is distributed. So you need to keep that difference between a private loan and a federal loan in mind. To get started with these federal and need-based grants or the Nurse Corps Scholarship and both federal and private student loans, we go back to the FAFSA form. So you need to fill out that FAFSA to be considered for any of these funds. So let's talk about a few scenarios right now. If you are coming back for your first bachelor's degree, you may be eligible for a federal Pell Grant. And again, you have to complete the FAFSA form to know if you're eligible for this. You can receive up to $5,815 a year in Pell money, depending on your financial need and the cost of attendance of your school. So that's a pretty good source of income for your attendance in nursing school. The cost of attendance isn't just the cost of tuition, it's the average cost to attend your school for 1 year, plus books, supplies, room and board, transportation, and personal expenses. And you can get a Pell Grant for up to 12 semesters. So that's a pretty good length of time, but it is time limited. The funds can be paid directly to you, or they can be applied directly to your school costs. You also may be eligible for a federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant, or SEOG. That's the second bullet point on the slide. Not all schools participate in the SEOG program, but Barry does. And you can receive between $400 and $1,200 a year for this at Barry. It does not need to be paid back. And again, you need to complete or fill out the FAFSA form to know if you're eligible for this. State scholarships, if you live here in Florida and are a permanent resident, Florida offers what is called the Florida Resident Access Grant, or FRAG, and that provides some funding for Florida undergraduate students attending some private colleges and universities. And again, Barry does participate in the FRAG program. You simply need to alert the Barry Financial Aid Office and they will tell you how to apply. Federal Work Study provides some part-time jobs for both undergraduate and grad students, and that helps you earn some money. You will earn at least the minimum wage and frequently more than that. The amount of hours are set by the Work Study Award, and you're usually paid by the hour as well. Now, if you're a second bachelor's degree student, that is, you have a bachelor's degree in something other than nursing, and you're coming back to get a bachelor's degree in nursing, or you're a graduate student, there are federal loans available, plus private loans and university scholarships. At Barry, again, I'll just reiterate, we also apply for and receive HRSA grants for our graduate nursing students, and we're fortunate to also have private scholarship money. And again, your first step is going to be filling out the FAFSA form. Some people don't want to fill out that form, and what I always say is fill it out. Even if you don't need the money right now, you never know what could happen in semester 2 or 3, and then you would have a little bit of money available to you should you need it. The second step for all students, undergraduate and graduate students, is to learn how to apply for grants and scholarships that your university offers. And again, I'm going to use Barry as an example. Barry offers grants and scholarships that you can apply for every year, and they're funded by private donors, our alumni, our faculty and staff, and even corporations. Our Barry Access grants are awarded based on financial need, and the FAFSA application will determine your eligibility for this. And the awards are made on a first-come, first-served basis. That's the case at many schools. So that's why I always say complete that FAFSA form early. Barry scholarships vary by the year. There are full tuition scholarships and partial scholarships just for Barry students. Some are specifically for pursuing degrees in nursing, some are more general, and you can still use them for a degree in nursing. We provide a whole resource list of external scholarships that you might want to consider, and even direct links to their web pages. So you've got the scholarships that we offer directly through Barry, and then we also give you the resources for those external scholarships and grants. At Barry, we have one simple and secure scholarship application, and that can be filled out online in less than 30 minutes. Once you're admitted and you have a Barry email address, you can then go in and apply and fill out this form. Most of the fields are going to be pre-populated from your student file, and this will qualify you for many scholarships. You'll be automatically matched to some scholarships, and for others, you may have to complete some additional information. The system will tell you. It is a very intuitive system. At Barry, we have set times for applying for scholarships. So whether you're coming here or a different school, inquire to find out what those set times are. For us, it's August and September, and then again in January and early February. Now, Here's my best advice as a dean and somebody who's gone through this process. I don't recommend paying a service to find scholarships. The information is out there and only you can supply that information. So I recommend that you control this yourself. And if you're going into nursing, you're probably someone who likes to be in control. So this will allow you to have total control over the process. You need to look at the scholarship application process really as a part-time job. If you spend 4 hours on a Saturday completing an application for an external scholarship, writing the essay that they require, and you're awarded that $1,000, that's the equivalent of a $250 an hour job. That's an excellent return on your investment. Don't delay. The earlier you get your applications in, the better your chances of getting awards. The early bird really does get the worm. And be mindful that you need to maintain your status in the program. So if you receive an award for a full-time student and then you decide to decrease your course load to become a part-time student, it very well could affect your award. You need to be, you need to alert the funding source of any changes in your status. Likewise, if all of a sudden your grades drop, that could affect your award, and you would need to notify the funding source. Now, after you get the award, what do? Well, the first thing is you want to read the small print on the award. Do you need to submit paperwork at the end of each semester, such as your grades or your final tuition bill? Is the award automatically renewable, or do you need to resubmit an application each year? Will the check come to you or go to the school's financial aid office? And last but not least, after you've got done reading all the fine print, you need to write a thank you note. I prefer it to be typed and professional. It can be short, but it should include something about how much this award will help you achieve your dream of becoming a nurse or a nurse practitioner, and how you will forward the mission of the foundation who provided the scholarship. So make sure that you're familiar with the mission of the funding source, the foundation. Really, 1 or 2 paragraphs is enough. But make sure you do it quickly after you're notified that you have received the award. This is a good time for me to mention the Baptist Scholars Program. Most awards are based on academic status. Some are based on community service activities. So be mindful of that, and if you fail a course or your GPA fails again, you may be disqualified for an award. Use your college as the first source of scholarships. As I said, Barry does a lot of the legwork for you, but you can also search online through Google or Bing or any search engine that's out there. If you have a hospital that you want to work for after graduation, find out if they offer any support for students in exchange for a promise to work for them after you graduate. For example, here at Barry, we partner with Baptist Health South Florida for our Baptist Scholars Program. It's an incredibly good program. You can have the majority of your tuition covered by Baptist Health if you're accepted into this special program. And it does require you to interview, answer some questions. We are more than happy to help prep you for that. It is for both the undergraduate and the graduate program. And after you've completed your program here at Barry, you then work for Baptist after graduation. So consider that if you're coming to Barry, because it is truly a phenomenal program for us. Next up, we're fortunate to have a financial aid expert with us today who can provide you with some additional helpful hints. So I'm going to turn this over to Miss Emily Betts, who is the Associate Director of Grants and Sponsored Programs here at Barry University. Emily?
Yes, I am here. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to mute my mic.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Dean McFadden. Thank you all for being here today. As he said, my name is Emily Betts. I am the Associate Director of Grants and Sponsored Programs here at Barry University. And I am going to start by going through some of the actual databases and some of the places where you can actually start to search and find some of these scholarship dollars. So this slide here shows some non-nursing specific scholarship databases, and these are very large repositories that have millions of scholarship opportunities. You can search in a variety of different ways. You can create a profile and personalize it so that you can drill down different criteria that's specific to you, and then these databases will then match you with opportunities that are appropriate. Or you can do a keyword search. For you all, you would enter, nursing. You could enter the state where you're from. You could enter the state where you'll be attending school. You can be very general, or you can be very specific to try to drill down some opportunities. And then they also, a lot of these have lists by category, where you can select a specific category and you can go from there. Keep in mind that with these scholarship opportunities, they are awarded typically on an annual basis, and so you must reapply. And another thing that you want to keep in mind that I know Dean McFadden touched on is that most of these require that you maintain certain criteria. So you'll have to maintain a certain GPA. If it's a scholarship that requires you to be a full-time student, if you dip down into to part-time status, then you would no longer qualify. And I would also caution you that there are a number of scholarship databases out there, so it really isn't necessary to pay a fee to use these databases. There are enough free options out there that you should be able to find some meaningful opportunities that are specific to your needs. This here is a list of things that are very specific to nursing. And nursing is right now the fastest growing occupation in the United States. The income levels are on the rise due to a shrinking nursing workforce. And so right now this is a very valuable degree to have, and there are certainly dollars available to help fund your education. So these are just a few examples of things that I would encourage you to look at these different websites, explore, see what's out there. All of these websites include something a little bit different, so you can find things that would include all different levels of education, something for an associate's or a bachelor's or a master's. You could even categorize some of these by specialty, so if you, are currently an OR nurse and you are looking to get your master's degree, there are areas where you can look to find specific scholarship for those types of areas. One of the things that you will want to keep in mind, for example, with the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, some of the opportunities that you'll see in there may require that you as an individual be a member, and some of them may require that the institution that you are attending be accredited. So you'll want to look for those things as you're searching to verify that you are eligible based on your individual status as well as the university that you will be attending. The majority of these scholarships here look at specific criteria at the time of application, for example, your GPA, your test scores, but there are other programs, specifically this last one listed, this HRSA Nurse Corps Scholarship Program, that require a commitment after graduation. So you want to keep that in mind. For example, this HRSA opportunity requires a 2-year commitment for you to work full-time in a health profession shortage area. And if you don't meet those criteria, then you lose eligibility for the funds. This is another one of the examples that are available. And at this particular website, there are actually a variety of different programs. You can look at scholarship money, financial aid, and loan repayment. And again, specifically for this one, you do want to keep in mind that it may require a membership or an affiliation from either you or your institution. This one specifically, this is a highly interactive website. You can see the map in the background, and what you can do on this website that's nice is that you can drill down based on a number of different criteria. So you can go to this website and you can click on the map to show where you are, and it will show you all the opportunities that you are eligible for based on that state. And then you can click additional filters and enter things like your current educational level, whether you would be a full-time or part-time student, gender, ethnicity, GPA, all sorts of different things, so that you can find opportunities that are very meaningful to what it is that you are looking for. HRSA, the Health Resources and Services Administration, they have a number of different opportunities. They, again, like the last slide that we looked at, they have scholarship, loan, and loan repayment programs. And they actually, if you go to their website, they have an application bulletin listed that has a calendar that will show you when each program opens. It shows you what backgrounds are eligible. So you can select, you know, if you're a nursing background or medical background, they have dental. You can select those things, and you can select the level that you would be, where the level of education that you would be entering. So that shows you a number of different things. With these HRSA applications, they typically only open once per year. So you want to make sure that you go into the website early to note when the dates are, but the dates still can change. Every once in a while they may change the date by a week or so, so you'll want to go in and check routinely to make sure that you're still working on the most updated deadline. But this is a really great thing to try to start making a calendar so that you're prepared and know when you need to submit your documents. This is a specific program within HRSA, just to highlight something that's available within the HRSA programming, the Nurse Corps Scholarship Program. And this is a program that will cover the cost of tuition, fees, books, clinical supplies, and even a monthly stipend. However, it requires a 2-year commitment following graduation that you would have to practice in a health professions shortage area. So you want to make sure upon application that you look where those areas are and that you're sure that this is something that you would be able to commit to at the point of application. Right now, this opportunity is currently closed, and it is scheduled to open again in early 2017. But this is one that is typically submitted in the spring. This is another website where you can find scholarships that are specific to nursing. This is one area where you can search by program category. And it also has all of the individual deadlines. As you search by category, it will show different scholarship opportunities, and you can see the deadline. So you can start to get a feel for what different opportunities would you be eligible for, and you can start making a calendar so that you know when you need to submit these applications. They also have links to the individual websites, so you can look at the prior applications, what was required, since many of these are closed right now. But you can look at previous applications to see what it is that they're looking for. So you can start getting some of the items that you need together so that once that opens, you are ready to apply. And this is the website for minority nursing scholarships. And again, here you can filter, as you can see, by specialty and location. And one thing I would note about this particular website is that if you are an international student, you also will want to search for scholarships. You can search within here, but you can also search for scholarships and financial aid opportunities out of your home country, so that there may be additional opportunities for you there. So now I have gone through a few of the databases that you can look at to see what types of scholarship money is out there. And the next thing that you would need to do is prepare. You need to be your own best advocate. You need to know what it is that you need to submit and when. So you want to have done your homework and looked up what types of scholarships are available, and then you want to check them routinely to make sure that you have the most updated information at all times. Oops, sorry, I think I went backwards there. Here we go. Once you found out what it is that you're going to apply for, you want to have documents prepared that you could submit at a moment's notice if necessary. You want to have a bio of yourself, short bullet points that articulate things that make you stand out, things that are unique to you that will make you stand out from the rest of the applicants. So you want to highlight all of those specific accomplishments and accolades that you have gained at this point. So if you have done a tremendous amount of service work, or if you were involved in student government, or if you were on the debate team, have this information ready so that as you look at these questions, you can develop your answers quickly. In addition, one of the things that you'll want to look at are the people that you're connected to. Who are they connected to? What sort of professional organizations or associations are they possibly members of that might issue scholarships? For example, many local Rotary clubs have scholarship opportunities. There are churches that have opportunities. There are a number of different things, and you'll really be surprised once you start asking questions of people that you know what you may be able to come across. There are an enormous number of scholarship opportunities out there, as you saw with both the generic databases and those that are nursing specific. So you want to go through and really select the scholarships that most closely align with who you are and what it is that you are looking for. The opportunities are limitless, so you'll have to narrow yourself in some way so that you can submit all of the applications of things that you are eligible for. So be selective and know what it is that you actually would qualify for, and have some standard text ready. However, I would caution you at submitting the same text every time, because different funders are looking for different things. So you can have some generic language available, but you'll want to make sure that you tailor that to what it is that each funder is looking for. I would always apply as soon as possible, apply early on. That way, if for some reason they are missing a document, or if the application takes longer than you anticipated, you've given yourself sufficient time to make up for that. Again, search often and talk to the people that you know, because you never know what connections may exist. Plan to do a lot of little applications. There are large scholarships out there that you should definitely apply for, but there are also small pots of money available in a wide variety of places. So once you identify all of these areas where you might be able to apply, be prepared to sit down and have to complete all of those applications. And again, I can't emphasize enough, you always want to make sure that you have sufficient time. However much time you think it's going to take, I can assure you that it will likely take more time. So make sure that you have given yourself enough time to not only complete the application, but to complete it to the best of your ability in a way that highlights you the best that you can. And this is one last thing that I would like to point out to you. As I told you at the beginning, you can search in a variety of different ways. There are keyword searches, there are category searches, and there's also this concept of the personal profile that it's making its way into many more of these databases. And so what you can do is you can enter in the information about yourself to as little or as large detail as you would like. So they ask a number of different questions. You can select which criteria you want to fill out, and then you can save that information and bookmark the scholarships that you would be eligible for based on that.